not getting to the root of the matter of what is causing you to do the things that you're doing.
Yeah.
And a lot of times when people are alcoholics or dealing with substance abuse and things like that, there is some mental stuff going on.
Yeah.
There is definitely some mental issues going on that they just can't deal with. And the mind is so, oh my gosh, how they say is a thin line between love and hate. There is a thin line between sane and insane. Anything can make you crack. Because honestly, I should have been strung out. I should have been alcoholic. I should have been out here doing everything but the right thing, when it came to the things that I have endured in my life, even from being a single parent at 14, raising children, I didn't know what I was doing. And it's only by God's grace that I'm sitting here today and I can say I've never had an addiction, but to one thing, that was cigarettes. Now, and I'm so glad now because it was 17, 18 years since I've even smoked.
I don't know
cigarettes.
The years, girl, but it's been long.
It's been wow. It's up there. So, but I'm grateful that I never had an addiction to anything, because I know that if I had been incoherent, I probably wouldn't have my kids today, because a lot of times when especially when you're dealing with unresolved issues in your life, if I had been a crackhead, I probably would have been the worst one. I'm so serious, because I probably would have been so into crack. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, that's how most
no, I'm seriously, like, I would have been a crackhead if I had been, if I had, because even I think about when I smoked cigarettes, like that was something that had a very strong hold on me. So I'm just thinking about any other drug. Had I picked up any other drug, what type of stronghold that really would have had on me, to the point where some people can function and be doing that stuff. I wouldn't have been able to function and do that. I know I wouldn't have been able to be a functioning crackhead, alcoholic, none of that. My life would have been horrible. And so I'm grateful that God kept me and kept my mind, so that that's not something that I turned to, to kind of like null or dull the pain that I was dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
But people, listen, there is nothing wrong with addressing mental health. If you are dealing with, things going on in your mind, you don't understand, anxiety, depression, all those things that coincide with mental health, don't be embarrassed. You would be amazed
at how many people.
Let me tell you something. I think I was the only person on my job, on most of the jobs that I've worked, who have been able to work without being dependent on any type of substance. Like, I'm talking about from what is it? The depression medicine and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Every job that I've ever worked, most of my coworkers have needed something to help them cope with, just their day to day, whether it was something for depression or anxiety or whatever. Now, don't get me wrong, I've dealt with anxiety before, but like I said, by the grace of God, I didn't go and run to medication, because I couldn't understand. My whole thing was, and this is how I rationalized it, that kept me off the medication, was, how is a pill supposed to heal something that God created? And so I could never make myself go get on medication. But there were many times when my mom would tell me, just go do it for right now. Just go do it for right now. And I would be like, no, I don't want to. I don't want to. Because I knew it was something that I needed to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
So I never would just run to the medication. I think there was one time that I tried it and I didn't like the way it made me feel. So I stopped. It wasn't something that I continued to do. But if you are struggling,
go get you on some medication.
Please go get some medication. Get the medication.
Until you can get to the point where you don't feel like you need the medication. Like, go get it. It's fine. Like, nobody gonna judge you for it.
Get it.
And if they do, they need money business.
Like, really, do it. Get it. Get on it and do the work while you're on it.
Yes.
Because you don't look at it as something that you're going to be on for long term. But mental illness is real. Do y'all see the world we're living in? People out here just, whew, like, this world is gone.
Yeah.
And most of the time it's because mental health is not been talked about and not been dealt with. And it's scary.
Yeah.
Because you never know who you're dealing with. You really don't, because people wear faces nowadays that you don't know what you're getting.
Mm-hmm.
But like Maya Angelou said, when somebody show you who they are, believe them. Because a person can only wear a mask for so long before they actually start slipping and letting you see who they are.
Yeah.
And once you see that, deal with it. Address it.
Yeah.
Because I'm sorry, but mental illness for me, that's one reason why I don't fool with too many folks, because there's a lot of people out here dealing with that stuff, and they'll hide it, and they good at hiding it because they've been hiding it for so long.
Yeah, until they don't have anything that's going to cover it anymore, and then they explode.
Yeah,
you know?
And that to me is why I just like, no, I don't let a lot of people in my home. I don't let a lot of people in my space, and it's not because I'm afraid of having relationships and things like that. It's just that I just know that people are not being genuine with who they are anymore.
Yeah,
and so that's
and I think it's they not been genuine, not because they don't necessarily want to. They don't know how.
yeah.
And they're not around
And nobody's gonna
anybody.
deal with it.
Yeah, they ain't around nobody that's even showing them that. A lot of people, I believe there are some people that learn by seeing it in others. And so I feel like if they don't see, listen, I heard a pastor that said, what he said was pretty much like, preach what you practice. So y'all don't need to be out here preaching to folks about stuff that you are not doing yourself.
Right.
And so I think a lot of times people just need to see that in other people. Like, that's why it's good to be vulnerable in front of other people and show people it's okay to cry, and it's okay to talk about your feelings. It's okay to say that you're struggling, because a lot of times that's when you get in your head, and then that's when people go out here and do crazy stuff, or when people want to not be here anymore because everything is just it's all inward, and nobody's able to release those things. So like my mama said, if y'all need to go get on some medication,
get on some.
Get on the medication.
I encourage it so much. Get on some medication. Go see a therapist.
Yeah.
Find somebody that you can trust and talk to. Get that stuff off your chest. Write it down in a book. Do whatever you need to do to free yourself of that, to get that because all it's doing is just building up on the inside of you. And that's what's causing the mental disarray. It's just, everything's just built up on the inside. So now your mind is trying to understand what's going on, because your mind probably so full, it don't even understand. It can't even commute no more information because you got so much information in there.
Well, and it'll make you sick.
Yeah, it'll make you sick.
You cannot leave all of that stuff in there, because you will become sick. You will bring on unwanted sicknesses to your body, and then you got your family like, Lord, why did this happen to so-and-so? Well, so-and-so didn't have nobody to talk to, so so-and-so was dealing with these things alone, and then so-and-so, end up dying from a sickness, unwanted sickness, because they never was able to express that. And just think about if you've been dealing with things for your whole entire life and you've never talked to anybody. That's crazy.
Yeah, because it took me a long time, like literally. Like I said,
I think you was 40.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I started dealing with stuff because I felt like the Holy Spirit was like leading me to deal with some stuff, because it had the Holy Spirit not been with me in my 30s, and kind of like remember when I started writing the letters of forgiveness and stuff like that. That was in my 30s, and so I feel like the Holy Spirit was leading me to do that then, because He knew this time would come.
Yeah,
I would be able to understand the need for the things that He had me doing back then.
Yeah,
and so just like I said, had these conversations not begin with her, bringing out different things that I'd never thought about, and like never even entered my mind until she would bring it up, and then it made me think about it. So they were thought-provoking questions that I never thought about before, things that I didn't even know I was dealing with. And so that's why I'm saying, like, it's important to surround yourself around people who are not going to judge you. I don't like judgmental people. Matter of fact, I can't stand them. And that's probably bad to say. But if you're
I can't stand judgmental people.
I mean, if you're judging somebody, that says a lot about who you are. And you're a hypocrite, because your life is not perfect either. So I don't do judgmental people. Don't come around me judging other people, because that's not something that I don't. Because we all got a past. And if yours may not look like mine, and yours may not look like hers, or yours may not look like somebody else's in your family. But to sit around and judge that person as if you're God, as if you are squeaky clean, as if there is nothing in your life that you've ever done that you don't need to be ashamed of, then no, I don't do judgmental people. So find you somewhere that's safe.
Yeah. And sometimes you got to create those safe spaces, because a lot of times people, because you're afraid to like speak on stuff around other people and stuff, you kind of have to like build that up around people, because a lot of people are not safe spaces. Not intentionally, but just some people are not.
And it's sad, because the Bible speaks of a tail barrier, what a tail barrier can do. You know what I mean? So if you're running around here and if somebody is confiding in you about something, the first thing you want to do is go and run and tell that.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Like, that ain't even healthy for you. to do something like that. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you need to create those. I do believe in creating those spaces. But man, be a safe place for somebody.
Yeah.
Why don't you be that for somebody else? Where they can confide in you. And if you're not that person, ask yourself why you're not that kind of person.
Yeah.
That somebody can come and confide in and tell you something, and they not get no judgment from you, but they get love and they get real, sincere, healthy advice and communication about whatever it is that they're telling you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
No, I agree. So, well, we kind of already touched on it, but it was how do we work together to break or we rewire the patterns that we feel like we've noticed in our family?
Yeah. Well, I mean, one is like with like getting like help, like psychology wise,
Yeah.
learning because I didn't know, and I'm still learning how to rewire my brain and rewire how I think and how I see myself and how I perceive different situations in life. So it's like I said, it's a work in progress. But
Yeah.
I think that it does come through having a good therapist.
Yeah.
If you need one,
Yeah.
I feel like if you're not going to have good books,
Yeah.
find you some great books that help you even be able to identify things that you need to work on to rewire yourself,
Mm-hmm. And I will say, I think how we can continue to work on and break is just to continue to have the hard conversations.
Yeah.
I mean, I know everybody don't like them.
And
I
that's
know
fine.
everybody don't like them, but we're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
And I think I feel like it's been super helpful for our family because
It's been absolutely helpful. And I think not only has it been helpful, but it's created bonds. It's like
yeah,
it's very bonding when you can sit down with your children, your parents, and have these conversations. Because if somebody's getting offended, that means they're not ready to heal yet.
yeah,
They're not ready to do the work. Because nothing that somebody comes and tell you that offended, if you did something to somebody and they come and tell you that what you've done to them offended them and you get mad about it, then that means that there's some work you need to do on you. Because why are you getting mad
about something that I feel like you've done to
right,
me? Yeah,
right.
yeah,
Now that's not right. So if there's something that somebody's coming and telling you that they feel like you've done, and you get offended, you become defensive and throwing up walls, then that means that you're not ready yet.
yeah. And I will say even in that too, sometimes it's because nobody's ever told them.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I was 50 years old and all my life I was disrespectful, but everybody let me do it,
Mm-hmm.
and then one day that brave person says, "Hey, I do not like how you're speaking to me." There, I'd give them a pass to be defensive because ain't nobody ever told them nothing different, And now if I have to continue to bring this to you and you're still defensive, then yes, you absolutely need to work on yourself. But the ones that are finding out this information for the very first time, because just think about Granny, that one conversation that Tiana had with her, how that made her feel. She was defensive at first, but then she really felt bad about it. She did.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of times it's new information to people.
Yeah.
So if I'm coming to you and saying like I had to tell you I don't like yelling, I never told you that. I never told you I didn't like when you would yell. I'd never said that. She's working on it.
My name is Monica Thomas, and I'm a yeller.
And she's working on it. But yeah, so I think that even in that, you didn't know until I told you, and you didn't.
But you know what? It's crazy because I absolutely can see why yelling would make you feel some kind of way. And I get it because I don't know. I snapped at Anala about something one day. I can't remember what it was, but when I see her shrink, she shrunk like it. I can't even explain to you that look and that the way her body reacted to that. That made me. It just I don't know. It just kind of like something just went off in my head. Like,
what did Granny yell at y'all?
My mama never yelled. My mama did.
But you know what's funny? How she didn't yell?
And my daddy wasn't a yeller. Like neither one of them were yellers.
But how? Because Granny used to yell when we was older.
Well, she got on her nerves because she didn't never put us it up. Listen. I'm telling you, I remember now. My mom used to get angry at the boys. Like, she go upside their head, but she was never. I think that more or less her anger or whatever she was feeling at the moments when she would get onto them was frustration because she was a single parent. They kept going in and out of juvenile, jail, you know what I mean? And then they wasn't listening. Like they just was not listening to my mama. At that point, I don't know when a man decides that they don't want to listen to their mother anymore.
I wonder too if that stems or could stem from watching a man in the home not listen, like watching a man in the home not, let's just say if she was telling granddaddy at the time something and he didn't listen to her,
I know. I
and
don't
they
know.
watching it and then they
And I
like,
can't say that because when we moved up here, um,
and maybe they was mad at Granny. What if they was mad at her because she left her? Maybe they looking at it like, why would you leave my daddy down there and bring us down here with no daddy?
or just that fatherless anger in
Yeah,
men generally. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? I don't know, but they just wouldn't listen. Like they would not listen to her for nothing. And so when she blew up on them, she would blow up on them. You know what I mean? But
So where do you feel like your yelling came from? Do you feel like it was misplaced anger?
I know it was. I absolutely believe that it was misplaced anger. I feel like it wasn't just I feel like it was everything: frustration, fear, everything that I was feeling on the inside of me. I feel like it just comes out in
Mm-hmm.
certain situations, and I feel like yelling is that one thing that says you're scared, you're angry, you're tired, you're depressed, you got all this stuff on you. So the yelling part just kind of like comes out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because you crushed, now you're crushing others. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So I mean, and like I said, I'm not no, I don't have a PhD. I don't know all those things, but I'm just kind of like,
Well, I was always curious because I'm like, well, if Granny didn't yell at
yeah,
y'all, then where the heck you
I
get the
didn't
yelling
know.
from?
And you know my dad, he's quiet.
Yeah.
He don't yell. He don't. You barely even hear him raise his voice at all. And my mama was not. She wasn't a yeller at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not really sure.
Then yours was, it was just misplaced
It had to
anger
be.
then.
It had
Yeah.
to be. It literally had to be because even today, even when you think about my brothers, now Sean can get pretty angry. You know what I mean? He has to come out in a different way. Eric's not really a yeller, and neither is Brandon. But I don't know. Ashley's not a yeller. So I don't
Mm-hmm.
think it was something that I
Maybe
don't
that was just something for you to,
cope with.
I don't
I don't
know,
know. Maybe
make you
that's
feel
how
like
I
you.
cope with it. I don't know, but. Like I don't remember. I didn't grow up like that, so I
Mm-hmm.
don't. I don't. I really can't pinpoint
Mm-hmm.
exactly where it came from. And I think too is I felt like I'd rather yell than hit. I don't know. Maybe that had something to do with it because I didn't grow up being hit. Like I can remember one whooping I got, and that's vivid in my mind. And me and Sean both got whooping that day because we went there and busted my daddy's guitar. Been in a fight and playing, and my daddy whooped us that day with guitar. The strap that was on the guitar, we got whooping with that
Mm-hmm.
because we busted his guitar. But I didn't grow up being hit. I didn't grow up being yelled at. None of that. So I don't know. Like I guess that's something we'll figure out on as time goes on because
Yeah.
I have no idea. Maybe somebody out there can help me understand.
Why the freak should be yelling?
Yeah.
Sometimes I do think, I wonder if something wrong with your ears because
Don't do that.
you just be getting loud. And I'm like, Mama, why'd you so loud?
Don't do that.
Yeah,
Ain't
and then
nothing wrong with my
your
ears.
nieces do the same doggone thing. So and I think it's because they be watching
Yeah, it's
you.
pretty loud. But I mean, even apart from just being like a loud speaker or loud family.
Yeah, I was gonna say we are a loud family.
Yeah, I think the yelling is something that's totally separate.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think those two.
No, I don't either. I don't either.
Uh,
So, let's see. If you could tell your younger self one thing about healing, what would it be?
If I can tell my younger self one thing about healing, I think I would tell my younger self, don't wait to do it. Like, don't wait to work on you. Don't wait to, you know, what is it, to, I guess, find that peace that's missing or, you know what I mean? Just don't wait. Don't wait to do it. Don't
Mm-hmm.
wait to work on yourself. Do it now. Work on yourself now so that you'll be a healthier version tomorrow. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
Because that's the only thing I can think of, as far as healing. There's a lot of things I would go back and tell my younger self apart from healing.
Mm-hmm.
But healing, I think that would be the one thing I would say because I feel like I waited. And I don't even feel like I waited. I feel like I
You just
didn't
didn't know.
understand. Yeah, I
Yeah,
didn't know that healing was something that I needed. So
yeah.
there was no work to be done because I didn't feel like I just like this is who I am, you know. And really, I guess
That's a lot of people though. They just
yeah,
feel like that's just who they are, and
yeah. But it's almost like winning $1 million when you realize that's not who you are.
yeah.
You are a product of things that have happened to you, and you do not have to be that way.
Yeah.
It is like winning the lottery when you realize I have choices, I have power. You know, maybe somebody took your power away from you, but the one thing that brought power back to me is when I realized I have choices. I did not realize I had those because I feel like every choice that or every thing in my life, the choice had been made for me.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I didn't have a choice about who I gave my virginity to. I feel like I didn't have a choice about the religion that I grew up in. I feel like I didn't have a choice about a lot of things in my life. I feel like I didn't have a choice about, being pregnant at 14 years old. I feel like I was powerless up until I reached my 30s. And in my 30s, when I realized the power of choices, that's when I started teaching y'all
Yeah.
about the power of choices. And that's all I've taught y'all from the time I understood.
That's all I remember. I remember you saying that all the time.
Yeah. And and your choices have consequences.
Yeah.
And you can't be mad at nobody
For the choices
that
you
made. I don't care what nobody has done to you. And it's not saying that it's right, but those choices that you made because of that, those were still your choices.
Yep.
And it's time to take ownership of that.
Yep.
Nobody owes you anything. You owe yourself.
Yeah.
So that to me would be
what you would tell your younger self.
Oh Lord, yeah.
I don't really know what I would tell my younger self because I feel like I've always been on this journey of just discovering. I always knew the way we were raised wasn't the most correct. I always knew there was something missing because that's why I knew I was going to be getting into school for psychology.
Well, let me tell you like this, and I've known this since you were in the womb. When I first found out I was pregnant with you, first person I told was a friend of mine. Her name was Sean Heisen, and I know she remembered that because we were in the bathroom in the 8th grade, and my gym teacher don't know why this woman knew, how she saw, what she saw that made her make me go take a pregnancy test. So I went and took one. She sent me to class. Came back and she made me take another one. After that second one, she came back and said, she looked at me, she said, "Do you know you're pregnant?" And I was like, "What?" She was like, "Do you know you're pregnant?" And I was like, I don't even remember what I said because I was so in shock. Like, pregnant? But I remember when my friend Sean, I don't know what she came to the bathroom for, but she came in the bathroom and I remember telling her. And so I tried to hide that forever. Like I hid it probably up until I was maybe 5, 6 months. I was started wearing bigger clothes. Nobody knew. No. I did not. It was probably about 4 months. The school called my mama and told her that I was pregnant. Matter of fact, they called my mama and asked her what was she gonna do about me in this pregnancy. Didn't have no clue. So, you know, everybody come and talk to my mama, telling her, you need to get an abortion. She need to take me to go get an abortion and all this kind of stuff. So I really don't know how far along I was because they were still talking about abortion and stuff like that. But I knew, and I remember hearing the conversation going on in our apartment, and I knew, even hearing that conversation, that nobody was gonna hurt my child. I knew nobody was gonna hurt my child. I knew from the time that you were in my womb that you were special. Like literally, I knew. I didn't know, understand.
That's because she dropped me on my head when I was a baby.
I did.
She did.
But I didn't understand, the light that you were going to be in this family. But you have been I'm gonna cry, and I'm trying not to.
I want you to.
I don't know how I knew. I just knew that you were going to be a light in this family, and you have been just that. You have been a light to me. You have been light to your sisters, and I want you to know that you have been to me. You're that to your granny, and you are that to everybody that you come across. I've seen it in your friendship. You are just a light. And so I knew then that nobody was going to hurt you, and nobody was going to take you from me, and none of that. Because I knew, I don't know if God spoke it to me, I don't know how, I just knew that there was going to be something special about you. And you have been just that from the day you come into this world. You have been so special to all of us. And so I just wanted you to know that.
Thanks, Mom.
You're welcome.
This is the second time I've seen her cry now.
And I'm not gonna be doing that too often.
Yes, she is. I have that effect on people. I love making people cry. It's so much fun.
But yeah, so
I would go get her a tissue, y'all, but
we have to break.
we would have to stop
I
this.
need something.
Let me get the one of the kids. Let me get put in to get it.
No, I
No.
read it. Maybe it just run. If y'all start seeing some makeup running down my face, don't say nothing.
Can't y'all like pat it? I don't wear
I
makeup.
ain't patting that. That be everywhere. It's
It ain't gonna leave the little streets where you're gonna be looking
probably,
crazy.
probably.
Well, that make that I love. I mean, I appreciate you for saying that. You know, because
But I mean, like literally, I've always felt that way. Um, I thank God for you. And I remember when my mama died, I remember Kendra coming to me and she said this, and I don't even think she realized what she said, but she said, "You about to find out why you got 5 girls." And I really do believe that had I not had y'all in my life when my mama passed, I don't think anything would have been able to hold me here,
yeah,
to this earth because I felt like when she left, everything about life left.
yeah,
So just having that, having y'all, all of y'all in my life has just been a tremendous blessing.
yeah.
No matter how hard the times have gotten, or even some of the strained relationships I've had with you know siblings. I just feel like I'm so grateful to have y'all. I feel like y'all have been the glue that's kept me here. You know what I mean? My purpose and for living. If I don't do anything else but to see you all of y'all grow up and accomplish everything that God has sent for y'all to do in this world, I feel like I've done everything I need to do. I had it though because I ain't leaving.
No, she ain't. Not since you 109, like Granny said.
So, but I feel like y'all have really just opened my eyes. It's seeing y'all in your adulthood has opened my eyes to so much, because I started recognizing things in y'all that I couldn't recognize and see in myself. Like even with school, I would have never went back to school until I started seeing how y'all go to school. I'm like, well, dang, everybody going to school. Let me go to school. You know what I mean?
That's why you are who you hang around. I don't care what nobody says.
Yes.
It's been a domino effect because my mama is enrolled in college classes and one of my other sisters.
Yes.
So pretty much everybody is in college.
Yeah, and I had to go back and get my high school diploma because I literally dropped out of school when I was in the 8th grade. I went back in the 9th, and I think I stayed for a month, and then I didn't go back.
How they let y'all do that? How didn't Granny go to jail?
I don't know, but she didn't. Well, like she probably used the excuse she got a child.
Oh,
I don't know, but
so maybe they didn't. I mean, I'm not gonna say they didn't care, but
back then there was truancy, but back then for some reason truancy wasn't as big as it is today. Like you can't miss 3 days without truancy sending you some kind of letter. But I think that might have had a lot to do with it. I don't know, but I mean, seeing y'all do it and work through it encouraged me to do it. And that's why I went back to school and got my diploma, and then decided, what, I want to take it further, and I want to enroll in college classes, and that's when I enrolled in Liberty. So
well, we appreciate having you as a mother too, because we could have asked somebody crazy. Now you're Magdalene's daughter. I mean, but we are. I mean, I just feel like you're just so resilient. Like I feel like just watching you, like you done been through a lot of stuff, and to see that you, I think that's where I get my like drive from, is because I've never seen you give up. Like I mean, I know I didn't get to watch you like. I didn't know what was going on with you or experience anything with you and that to that extent, but I feel like just watching you continue to do the best you can. I feel like you did the best that you knew how. And so I'm still grateful for that. And I think everybody should be grateful for that, because a lot of our parents are doing the best that they know. We cannot expect our parents to be doing things any differently if they don't even know it. They are human, y'all. Like I don't know how, if I could scream that to the rooftops, because everybody feels like, I know. I mean, I feel like a lot of people just really feel like, well, they say they did better, but they didn't. How do you know? You ain't them. You cannot say what they did. And I do feel like parents are doing what they know.
But you got to remember too, is a lot of people are living life for the first time.
Yeah.
They can be here for 40, 50, 60 years.
That don't mean that's gonna make them know better.
And a lot of them are only most of them don't start living life until they start dealing with things that they, have buried. you have to deal with that stuff. Even before you can live life, you have to start dealing with things in your life. Because if you don't deal with it, then you're just kind of going through the motions
Yeah.
of life, and you're not really living life. And like people say all the time, not being present. What did you call it? Emotionally present.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you can be in a room with a person, but that don't mean you're there with them. You know. And so your family is still missing out on you because you're there, but you're not there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No, I agree.
and I don't hold any grudges against. I don't hold any grudges at all. You know, against anybody in my life.
It's a waste of time. It's a waste of it's a waste of your energy. It's a waste of like instead of just wishing and hoping, you know, that's why for me, and I do not plan on having kids. I have to make sure I tell people that because that's not a plan. However, if I was to get married and I married a man that just, you know, that's what we ended up agreeing on having kids, whatever. But like, let's just say I didn't have a good, my daddy wasn't there. He was in and out, and I still love that man like he was the best father in the world.
I mean, up until that man died, she was there, and this man forsook her. You know, so many times
Yeah.
I've seen her be disappointed by this man. And even on his deathbed, even up until the time where he was in his final hours, she was there. You know, she would go check on him, see how he was doing. And that's what when I say.
Oh, I wasn't there when he passed, though. I did not go.
You didn't know? I mean,
no.
You went up at the hospital when he was in there, though, didn't you?
Yes, but I did not go up there when he was passing. Like I wasn't up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even in that, you know what I'm saying? For a man that literally has not been in your life, who lived in the like at your back door and still kind of like treated you like you didn't exist. And then for you to still show up and be there for him says a lot about who you are.
Yeah. I just wanted to relate. I just wanted the relationship that bad. But I said that to say I would just make sure I give that to my child. Make sure they get a father that's because a lot of the times our parents ain't thinking about the characteristics of the man that they're sleeping with. So you're not thinking like, are they going to be a good dad? Because for one, you just trying to do your thing, and then you're not even really thinking about that part. So for me, instead of being so upset that my daddy wasn't there, well, when I have a child, I just need to pray about the man that I'm marrying and the man that's going to be the father of my child.
And I pray that for my grandkids as well. Like I pray that for every generation coming into this family.
Yeah.
You know, is that they experience fatherhood for real.
Yeah.
You know, not that father that's in and out, not really present, not that. I'm talking about real fatherhood.
A healthy individual.
Yes. Oh my God. Because I feel like it is so important. I feel like it's important for a son and a daughter. There's something about having that father figure, and for a girl, that model type to look for in a man, that is so important for little girls to see. Because then you'll end up marrying somebody just like your dad if he's a good father. If he's a bad father, you'll end up marrying somebody that's just like your dad.
If you don't deal with it, you have to deal with it. And that's why I think it's important to like not sit around and like, yes, feel the feelings, validate your feelings. You know, yes, you have a right to feel that way. However, what are we going to do about it? Are we going to continue to stay in that mindset? Or are we wanting to grow from that? Are we wanting to take that as a teacher? I think every experience that we go through, we need to look at it as a teacher. It taught us something. It taught us what we don't want. It taught us what we didn't want to do. It taught us something. And I think if we look at things more on that aspect, I think it'll help us to not hold so much unforgiveness, because it's like, you know what? That was bad, but it taught me what I do not want to have to deal with ever again in life. You know, like taking that as like a stepping stone to do better, instead of like, oh, well, since I ain't had my daddy, I'm about to go out here and I'm about to break these dudes' hearts. Why? What's the purpose? What are you going to get out of that? I mean, and that's why I do believe hurt people. Heal people can heal people too. So why not be, like I said in the last video, why not be the change we want to see? You was upset that you didn't have emotionally present parent. Make sure you're being one now, because a lot of y'all have kids. So your perspective could be, oh, I'm being the best mother I am to my child. What if that's not your child's perspective? So that's when you have to really reevaluate all of the hatred and the unforgiveness you have in your heart towards your own parent, because what if your child feels the same way about you and you don't know it? Yeah, have the conversations.
How many of y'all would be willing to ask your children?
And how are you going to respond?
Yeah.
You know, are you going to sit with what they said? Or are you going to be quick to be on the defense?
Yeah.
Or are you going to actually sit with like, oh, well, I thought that meant I was being a good parent, but what if in their eyes it ain't? That's why I think it's so good to like have a conversation, because a lot of times people might think that they are being like the best parent ever to their child. And what if that child actually doesn't believe that? So I think that's why it's so important to have the conversations, because we're just not talking about stuff
You'd be
enough.
surprised. You'd be surprised what your kids say about you if they were able to be honest about you.
Yes.
You'd be very surprised to hear it. And like I said, if you're not willing to hear it, if you're not in a place to hear it, don't even waste your time.
Yeah.
And that can turn very ugly. It can become a bad situation if you're not ready to hear the truth about yourself, or the truth about where they are from their perspective.
Yeah.
So if you're not ready to hear that, don't even wait.
Wait a minute. Yeah.
To be able to, get yourself in a place where you're able to receive what they're saying to you.
Yeah.
So that way, again, it's all about starting over. It is all about literally throwing away these blueprints that we thought were the way to do everything, and literally rebuilding and renewing your mind so that you can become the person that God has created and designed you to be, not just for yourself, but for your family. A lot of y'all walking around here in relationships that you ain't even happy in. You're depressed. You don't like your husband. You don't like your wife. Can't stand the kids. I mean, that right there signifies brokenness. Something's wrong.
Yeah.
And there needs to be some healing that takes place.
Start talking. Start talking.
I don't want to live in a house where I come in and that's the kind of atmosphere I'm coming into.
Yeah.
Like, who wants to do that? I love, and I'm single, but I love that I come home and I'm coming home to peace. And I'm so at peace to where I don't want nothing disrupting that at this point. Now, I'm open for anything, but I am such at peace to where I love peace. I love me some peace to where I don't like anything even taking me out of my element. Not saying that I don't come out of my element every now and again, especially when I'm driving sometimes. But
she crazy, y'all.
I got crazy. But I literally love peace. I love to bring peace. I love for people to be at peace around me. Because you ain't bringing peace, I can't work with you. Sorry, I just can't. You need to have peace within though.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, so the last question, my throat getting a little dry.
Okay, drink a little coffee.
The last question would be, what encouragement do we want to give our listeners? And I will say, for me, the encouragement that I want to offer is to have a conversation with whomever. I don't care who it is. If you feel like a conversation is needed and necessary, have it. And stop trying to manage people's emotions. People are allowed to feel how they want to feel. Unfortunately, that's just how it works. That's how it rolls, because we are not them and they are not us. So whatever conversation we have, allow them to feel that what they want to feel, but have the conversation. Have hard conversations. Start talking to the people around you that you love, because y'all do not know who could be really fighting battles silently because they feel like they cannot come and talk to you. So I encourage who's ever listening today to go and have those hard conversations with your loved ones, because people do leave this world because they don't feel like they can do that. And it could be something just as simple as they don't feel loved. And love looks differently for all people. They could be saying that because they felt like, well, you never came to their house, or you didn't ask them to go out to eat, or something. But we can't be mad at people for feeling like that we're not a safe space if we're not a safe space. Right. So I do encourage people to be a safe space first, and then start having those hard conversations, because it's time to start talking, y'all. We is sitting around here. No, let's talk. Let's talk. It's not going to be easy, but let's talk.
And just to piggyback a little bit on what she said, I mean, a lot of us got so much bitterness built up toward family members. You know what I mean? Like, over some of the smallest, most pettiest things that when you leave this world, is that even going to matter? When they leave this world, is that even going to matter? I am big on family. I love being around my family. I love, spending time with my family, just getting together, whether it be at my sisters, whether it be at my daughter, wherever we are, I just like us, I like the family to be together. It is time for families to stop with this. I'm better than you, or I got this, or I'm this over you, and that it's family. That's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be built on love and trust. And unfortunately, we live in a world where there's not a lot of love and there's not a lot of trust in these families.
Yeah.
You know, and like you said, start having the conversation. Because if Uncle John and they're doing something to little Susie that he ain't got no business doing, y'all need to be doing something about that.
Yeah.
Stop sweeping this stuff under the rug. I'm sorry that Uncle John made the choice to go do something that, could stain his reputation for the rest of his life, but he made that choice.
Yeah.
And so somebody else is suffering behind it because now nobody wants to talk about what Uncle Johnny did or whatever his name is to, little Susie. That's not right. That's not fair because that child was the one, she was the victim.
Yeah.
And so we have to deal with this stuff. And build strong families again. That's what we need. That's what Christ
We
wants.
need each other.
We
We
need
need
each other.
community.
And I really do believe that's what Christ would want. He would want us to have that because that's the whole point of him creating mankind is to have a family. He wanted a family. He got a family. But, even though we're his family, we can't even be family here on this earth. And that's sad.
Because we letting Satan.
Yeah.
Satan is coming in to
And the thing about it is,
destroy.
the Bible says, how can you love me who you don't see? And you can't even love your brother who you see every day. I'm not going to say everything's going to be perfect. And I'm not going to say people
It's
haven't
not.
done anything that you may believe that are beyond repair. I'm not saying it at all. I don't dismiss wrong actions.
Mhm.
I don't make light of it either because if it happened, it made you feel some kind of way. But if it can be repaired, if it can be
Let's
salvaged,
repair it.
let's repair it.
Yeah.
Let's heal it. Maybe in the process of doing that, you are helping them to deal with demons that they didn't know that they had.
Mhm. And drop the expectations.
Yeah.
The expectations are too high, y'all. It's too high for people that are not capable of, they're not in that place that you are. I'm not saying that they're not capable, but they're not in the place that you are. So bring the expectations down a little bit lower and stop expecting them or you out of them.
Mhm.
Let's stop doing that.
Mhm. Yeah, but I mean, that's kind of like, literally, she nailed it for the encouragement because that's exactly what I would encourage, is to really just start having conversations.
Yeah.
And as hard as it is, have the conversation with yourself first.
Mhm.
Be honest with you.
Mhm.
Deal with you first.
Yes.
Because you can't go deal with nobody else.
That you ain't dealt with you.
If you got a big moat or log in your eye, how you gonna go help somebody else with theirs?
Yep.
You can't.
Yep.
So you have to deal with you first and stop trying to deal with little Johnny and you setting up there with your own issues.
Mhm.
Deal with you first.
Mhm.
Have the conversation. I don't care who you have them with. Like I said, I don't care if you got to stand in the mirror and have a conversation with yourself. Just have the conversation and ask yourself, where am I right now?
Yeah.
Mentally, spiritually. Where am I as a person? Who am I as a person? So that we can start healing and start over together. Because that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to solve. Listen, I hear people say, all the time, I'm getting old, I'm this, I'm that. You will never hear those words come out of my mouth. I could be 92 and you'll never hear me say that I will never say that. I'm not that. I'm going to always remain young, whether it's young in spirit, young in mind, young in soul. But I do not follow the trends of this world, and we have to stop doing that.
Yes.
We have to stop speaking like the world because this world is built on a system of speaking death.
Mhm.
We don't need to speak like that. We need to be speaking life into ourselves and life into other people. And I'm telling you, once you start this, just watch how things begin to change within yourself, within your family.
Yep.
It will change, but you have to be willing to do it. You have to be willing to do the work. You can't sit back and just think it's just going to happen by, magic. I don't know. Which how do you say things? If you don't put in the work, the Bible says faith without works is dead. So you have to be moving towards something to see something.
Yeah.
So,
well, I guess that's it for today.
That's it, y'all. That's it. Again, we welcome all people to chime in, comment. Even if you want to be a guest on the show, and
to talk. Yes, let's talk.
Something that you would like to bring to the table that we haven't brought up yet. Even if you want to discuss this video and you want to have an open dialogue about it,
let's talk. We can do that. We can do that.
Keep it open.
Yes.
So, we appreciate you guys so much.
Yes.
And we hope that we have encouraged some people.
Yes.
And again, I can't believe that I got that vulnerable, but like I said, I'm
so proud of my mama. She growing up like a little weed.
So we're so excited about this channel, and we're just praying that God would just really bless it and take it to new heights. Not just for us, but for other people that are tuning in. So we're really excited, and we're just hoping to see a lot of change take place, and not just us, but in our viewers as well.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see y'all soon.